So I don't know.
You think women in general follows a man lead?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think they follow him as
Yeah.
long as, I think a lot of people, a lot of women specifically, follow a man as long as he's doing what she wants him to do. Once he goes left or goes in the direction that she doesn't want to go in, she goes her own direction because she has the means to. That was the whole reason why the feminist movement and all of that happened, was because women said, I want the ability to make my own decisions and move in the way that I want, if I want to move in that way. So the moment she gets tired of following his direction, she's going to go the direction she wants to go in, whether he's going in the right direction or not. Like I had a conversation with a woman last year, and she said that her man was being financially controlling. That's the reason why she left him. When in reality, them two came up with a plan together, a financial plan. She started making more money. He wanted to stick to the plan. She didn't, and she left him because of that. So like people
Man,
move.
look,
I believe.
now go ahead, Sweeney. You gave a good perspective. You and Chanel, man, y'all. I love y'all POV. Shout out to y'all guys. JR, what's the question so we can get back on topic?
We're just talking about seeking partnership in a godly way. Just what basically what they were saying on the video. What are your thoughts? Let's get to Hink and then Luis, and we'll come back around.
So, look, I most of these people can't get along, and JR, this is going to equate. You expecting a 25-year-old young lady who's always probably been taken care of, maybe by her father and took care of. All of a sudden, she expects to go into a marriage with a young man who's not all the way right yet. Financially, he just doesn't. He doesn't have all this shit together. Mentally, he's there. He's prepared. He can take care of it. But financially, he's just not there yet. And to go into a marriage and better do all of this, and she expects him to pay for everything, and she comes up with nothing because that's what her mother did. You know, the father was head of the house, so he took care of everything. Now you expect that from me? It ain't gonna happen. So how I do it is how I do it. I don't believe in 50-50. We believe in one pot in my household. And if that's what you believe in and that's what you go off, you need to find you a woman who's about that. And if she's not, don't move on forward with her. Don't proceed with her. Don't continue to involve yourself in a relationship with her. Don't continue to take her out. Don't continue to fuck on her. Don't continue to have no type of issue dealing with her, because it's not what you're really looking for. Because you're going to try to con her, negotiate her, and she's not moving off that. She doesn't believe in it. You need to let it be. Now, if you meet a woman who may first thought about that, no, I don't believe in putting my money together. But you can have a conversation and have her understand, okay, break it down to her to the point where she can understand and she can get with it, then she's a good woman and she's got a lot of potential. But if she's not going to move off her square, and this is what she said, no, I'm not going to do this. I don't believe in it. My money's my money. Your money's your money. Then you move on. There's no need you keep elongating the pain. Ain't no need you keep messing around with her because you're wasting your time. It's not what she wants. If she's not for gender roles, she's not what she wants you to do. She wants you to clean the house and do all this, and you know that's not how you was raised, how you was born, and you're not willing to move off that. Then she need not move with you, or you need not move with her. I believe in gender roles. I believe in one pot. That's what I believe in, and those were some of the hard questions that I had to ask and vet the woman. Well, I don't even call it vet, interrogate, because that's exactly what I did. I interrogated. I need to know your financial status by the third day. I want to know your credit score, and I want to know, can you go out and get you a home if need be, without my income or nothing. I need to know that, because my income's going to pay for this house. It's going to pay for everything. But guess what we're going to do with your income? We're going to use that income to invest in things. That's what we're going to use for. We're not just going to let it just sit around and collect dust in your account, because I don't believe in your account. It's our account. If I'm marrying you and I'm blessing you with my goddamn last name, we come together as one. If you're going to give me your goddamn DNA and your body, then you give me that damn paper you got in your bank. Nothing's off limit. It shouldn't matter. If she makes $5,002 more than I do, it shouldn't matter. We won. Doesn't matter. We put our money together, and we're gonna look. I make $70,000. She makes 65, or she makes 75, and I make 55. We coming together. We're gonna put that little $130,000 together, and we're gonna do the best we can with that. We're gonna have and make this thing work. All 130,000 of it. That's what we're gonna do. Because please believe you me, when y'all decide, or if y'all decide, Lord forbid, that y'all get divorced, all that money's gonna be pounded together anyway, and it's gonna be split. So don't think it's, oh, well, I got my money, she just need to keep her. Unless you had a prenup, y'all will split that shit anyway. And they're gonna look at it as one lump sum. So look at it however you want to. Bring it as one, work, make it work. If you can't, then she's not the woman for you. She's just not the woman for you. Or vice versa. If the woman's doing that, he's not the man for you.
Okay. Go ahead, Luis.
Yeah, I was going to add to that, Hank. I find that interesting because I don't think that the money component should ruin the relationship, right? Especially if you really are in line with that person and it's only about the money. You can sit down and actually iron out solutions for how to make up wherever that gap may lie, or what are the saving strategies for that relationship particularly. I had a professor who made north of $150,000 a year. And his wife, and he's an architect, his wife is like a scientist and an engineer at MIT. And she made $350,000, right? So she makes like at least $200,000 more. Both really good money. Either way you look at it, 150, 350, really good money. But together, their household is making $500,000 a year, right? And sort of, he had told me a story where they both came to an agreement that he would cover and pay for their children's tuition, right? For their schooling, college, etc. And that's what he was tasked with doing. Like, that's what he was going to do. And she would cover all the other bills. Like the mortgage, cars, etc. She would take care of that as long as he covered the college tuition for both their children. And it ended up working out for them because they understand we both make really good money, although one person makes significantly more money because they're in a particularly specialty field or area, right? That doesn't mean that the relationship should be dissolved. There are solution ways of kind of making it seem very equitable, but still not really dilute the hierarchy in the relationship. You're still the husband, you're still this other person. It's just that their careers have put them in different situations in terms of their potential incomes, right? And sort of, I don't really like how people kind of sometimes, dilute the conversation to just money, because there are other greater components that make that relationship much better than just the money aspect.
Okay, I do want to ask the women in Balance and Chanel, like, are you okay with if you made like $50,000 more than your husband? Would you guys be okay with that?
Yeah. When I was married, I was making more than my ex-husband, and he wanted joint accounts, so our money was going in one account. Unfortunately, when I decided I wanted a divorce, he took all the money. But I was fine with, whatever his paycheck went into the account, and that was that. He knew he wasn't making, enough money to pay all the bills, but I didn't care about that part because we were together. We never discussed financially how stuff was going to get paid. It was just kind of like we put our money together, and I managed all the bills, and that was that. The only other time that I had a situation where I wasn't married, but when I first moved here to Arizona, my first 4 years, I was dating a guy and I moved in with him, and he owned all his cars and stuff. He had his own business, owned his cars. I had car notes. I had 2 cars, 2 car notes. Hold on a second.
All right, go ahead, Balance.
Yeah. Wait, what you got? Oh, if a woman see, the thing about the conversation is strange to me because we're speaking in such terms of things being so temporary. Like, life is continual. One day I could make 20,000 more. The next year he can make more. Like, it's gonna fluctuate if you plan on being together for a lifetime. So the question is pointed to me. Like, I feel like we're talking about Like, are we going to eat eggs for breakfast? It's so minute. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, it's not going to be the same 10 years from now, 20 years from now. Like, it doesn't matter who makes more money right now. That's going to fluctuate. I don't know. Personally, in my life, I don't know anybody that's only made 30,000 a year and made that their entire lives. And if they did, that should be a red flag. But I'm just saying, I don't know anybody that has done that. So to just base a marriage off of how much we're earning in 2024 is silly. We're not going to be earning that next year or the year after. And I also want to add that and this is why people they just think so small sometimes to me. Like marriage is such a huge life time of a commitment, right? But I also want to say when you're marrying someone, make sure you do have that conversation. I forgot who said it, but make sure you do have that conversation of what you expect in the marriage. If you expect your wife to always do the laundry, y'all need to talk about that before you get married, because maybe in her brain she's thinking, I'm gonna wash my clothes, you're gonna wash your clothes, and that's gonna be fine. But a man in his mind, he's like, my mom always washed my clothes. I want a wife to wash my clothes. But he never relayed that message to her. So in her mind, she doesn't see it like that. Like a wife is just supposed to do your laundry. Like, why? Like, so you have to have the conversation and what you want in your wife and what you want in your husband, and make sure you're on the same page. A lot of people assume that the other person knows what they desire and what they want and what they expect. The expectations kill a lot of marriages. People don't know what's in your brain and what you expect. Like nobody can read your mind. We're not mind readers, men and women alike. Before people try to turn this into a gender war, men and women alike, you have to speak to your spouse or before they become your spouse and say, hey, I like this, I want this, I desire this. How do you feel about that? Can you commit to cooking at least 5 days a week? Can you commit to us traveling at least twice a year? Is this within a budget? Like, have the conversation first instead of getting married and then wondering why you can't agree on money and where you want to live and where you want your kids to go to school. That's a problem. Have the conversation prior. So, yeah.
So that's exactly right, Balance, up to what you were saying. Look, that's why I said you need to vet and interrogate whatever woman that you're trying to make your wife, and bless your last name. These questions should have been asked. We should have been talking about money. That's one thing we failed to do. Most people wait till they get into marriage, get into the same house, get into the same residence, and then want to talk about money and how these bills are going to be paid. No, that needs to be talked about then. If you knew your woman is a materialistic type woman and that's not in your nature, either one or two things need to happen. Either you need to have a conversation with her and try to convince her not to be so materialistic and not to get all the newest name brands, or you need to walk away. Because more than likely, if you can't afford to keep up with her lifestyle, you're going to be in trouble. Now, you're going to have to get a goddamn part-time job just to cover that credit card bill because she likes nice things. And her nice things may not be found in the same state and may not be online. She may want to go out of the country to get these nice things. So now what you going to do?
I did have a question for the gentleman.
Part of provision and all that is not just about money. I hate when they always make it like we have to provide. Provide is more about money. I got to mentally protect my woman. I got to mentally protect my lady, my wife. I have to. I got to make sure she's mentally protected, because ladies get certain feelings, certain time of month. They feel some type of way. You got to bring her down. You got to calm her down. You got to ease her. When she decides to make a rash decision just because she's in her feelings or emotions, you got to be the one to be the level-headed person in the relationship, and you got to bring her back to reality. Pull her off the cliff. That's a part of providing for a woman, not just financially and financially only.
All right.
My fault, Jay.
No, you all good, man. I got a question for the men, because as we listen to these panels, we always hear people talking about what they want their woman to be doing. And Hank, I did hear you say you do want a woman that can cook, but like realistically, the gentleman on the panel, do you guys want a woman to be in the kitchen every single day? Do you want her to get the laundry? Do you want her to be cleaning every day? Is that a realistic expectation for the men on the panel?
I don't even think that's a realistic expectation just from a work life, balance of anything. Like, yes, we need to eat every day. So like that has to be a conversation about meal prepping and like when we have dinner and those things. But laundry, like, depends on how much you guys, go through clothes. It might be once a week you just do it. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't necessarily have to be every day. And there might be days where one person might switch off and they might cook one day, right? So it just depends on the dynamic and your schedules and your work situation.
Man, I'll start this off by, what are we talking about? Only $100 per week and maybe like $6,000 a year separates black men and black women. That's it. They're making close to nearly what we're making. Like, and neither one of those incomes by themselves is taking care of shit. But when you put them together, you can do a lot. As you look at this chart, that's how most people think when obviously all of us have to work. We live in a country where most people have to work. And this is pretty much the work balance. Depending on the hours you work at work, that's how much shit you're going to do at home. Me and my wife both cook. She cook on Monday. She cook on Sunday and Tuesday. I cook on Monday and Wednesday, and we let the leftovers carry over to Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. She does the laundry. I do the dishes. I don't touch the laundry. She hate doing dishes. I hate doing laundry. Like, this is how regular people operate, because the reality is both of y'all have to work. There's no way around it. And only $6,000 separate us. Only $6,000 on average. And in any tax bracket is probably, a margin of error, maybe 10 to 15. If you're going up into like the $100,000 range, and at that point, does it even really fucking matter? You make more, both of y'all make $100,000. What the hell are y'all complaining about? You make $200,000 a year. But in this real life, real world, we know what we all make on average. And only $6,000 separate us. $100 a week. That's it. And if you dealing with somebody that makes only makes $39,000 a year, and they got beer and they got champagne taste with beer money, to Hink's point, what the hell are you dealing with them for anyway? But I don't think most people who don't make no damn money got that kind of mindset, because they broke. You broke, I'm broke, we broke. Put it together, make something.
Sweeney, they got a thing called hood rich. Yeah, you got some broke motherfuckers try to get. They got people who they call hood rich. Guess what? Come April, they got that money.
You the tax check. You talk about that tax.
Everything on their taxes. Their nieces, their nephews, their neighbors' kids. They don't. I don't look here. When I found I don't look for no return. I can care less, because that's not what I'm not dependent on that. And if it does come, most of the time, 90% of the time, I had to pay. These past 5 years,
just happy you ain't got to pay taxes.
Man, look, I just want to break even. But you got some people who think they hood rich, and they gonna go out and get all the new TVs. Also, they got the new ride in the driveway at the apartment complex. And guess what? 2 months later, repo man come picking that bad boy up. Or they at the pawn shop trying to sell their new 65-inch TV off, because they know they couldn't afford it. They couldn't. But people live hood rich. People live above their means, and that's a problem for our, especially folks in our community. We live above our means. We don't want to just get a nice 2-bedroom or 3-bedroom apartment or house. No. We want the 4 or 5 with 3.5 baths with a pool in the back. Knowing we can't afford the taxes on that thing, we probably ain't gonna be able to afford the house payment. But guess what? We're gonna get it anyway. Why? Jane, Joanne, Don, and Clarence got it. So I want it because they got it. And we try to keep up.
You know what's though, Hank? If you think about it though, people already innately take your advice on that. Because think about it. Think about all the tax season ballers you know in your life, right? The ones that come out during tax season, then they get their shit repo. Are those people ever in any real relationships? Are they ever really? First of all, you already know that they tax season baller. They probably more than likely single anyway. Because when you marry and both of y'all make income, slim chance that you ain't getting shit back anyway. You ain't getting that child tax credit because you make too damn much together. But when you see people who are tax season ballers, most of them motherfuckers are already by themselves and they ain't got nobody anyway. So people already avoid them because we know that they have champagne taste with beer money. We know that we see those people and they buy the car from the goddamn from the buy here pay here on April 1st and it's gone by August 2nd. And they still single and they talk their shit from about February to about May. They talk their shit and then they right back where they were with the GoFundMe's and shit like that. By August, those people already get left alone. Most people don't like dealing with people who got champagne taste and beer money. That's just natural.
That's not true.
I feel like
that's not true, bro. Unfortunately, that's not true. And the reason why I say this, because guess what? They looking good while they at the club. They look like they got it. They put on the front like they got it. They dressing like they got it. They talking and spending money like that. But they going home and they sleeping with on a mattress on the floor. House is dirtier than a mug. Come on, sweetie, don't act like your cousins ain't like this. You know Uncle Crunch is like that. You know how he live.
Yeah, and they normally chronically single.
Hey, I think Chanel was trying to say something. Go ahead, Chanel.
I was going back to
my bad.
The point. It's okay. Going back to the point about these 50-50 and all of that. I feel like a man will show you, because I still feel that a woman follows a man lead, and I feel like a man will show you during the dating phase, how he's going to communicate when it comes to moving to that next step. Like I was going to say, the relationship I was in, that was like the first time outside of a marriage where, I moved in with him. He asked me to move in with him. He already knew my status. He already knew I had car notes. He already knew my financial status. I make money, all that stuff. When I moved in, he was just like, okay, well, I'm already paying the rent. I got a sports package that's $300-$400 because I watch the sports. So I'm gonna keep paying that, and he asked, you good on your bills? And I was like, yeah. So we were good. In my mind, all right, ain't nothing else to talk about as far as how we gonna split bills, because we're not talking about marriage right now. We just talking about living together. He called the shot. He was like, you got way better furniture than me. I'm gonna get rid of this furniture so you ain't gotta pay for storage. We'll use your furniture. Okay. Like he laid it out, and I was just like, and then I was able to start my business while we was together for 3-4 years. Like I was like, we did, like it worked. So he was somebody that I know when we got married, we decided to upgrade or go a house. Yeah, we would have those type of conversations. It wasn't assumed that, he gonna keep paying for everything. He just knew the status of where I was at, where he was at, what he can do, what he gonna do, and he just kind of did it. And it was kind of like, I don't have no objective to that. So I feel like, again, when a man knows what he wants, and he's gonna show you while you dating him, what type of man he's gonna be when he decides to marry you.